Hello and welcome back to Friday Minis. We use search engines every day. The word Google has become a verb to search something online. But what do search engines actually do? How do they sort of do that magic of finding things for you? Today, let's take a look at that and also see how people can try to game the system. Essentially, a search engine does its work in three distinct steps: crawl, index, and retrieve. Let's start off with crawling. Now, obviously, in order for a search engine to work, it needs to actually visit as many of the websites out there as it possibly can, find out what contents live on every single page so that it can help you, find them, right? It can actually point you to the relevant things. So the first step is to crawl. Your search engine will start from a few websites known as seeds, and from there, from those pages, essentially it will go to links. These links will then bring them to new web pages that contain more links, and it basically branches out from there. The whole point is to discover pages, and the more linkages there are, the more discovery there will be. So that is crawling. As you can imagine, this is an exponential process. It's going to start at a few seeds and just branch out massively. That means, of course, that your search crawler is going to come back with a lot of data. That's why the next step is indexing. That information has to be stored and organized in a way such that retrieval later on is easy. It's usually in the interest of a search engine to perform some sort of tagging or annotation. That is, every page will be associated with some information. Obviously, the text of the page must be made available. But on top of that, it may like to identify things like just the general topic of the page. And under more complex applications like image search, for example, it may want to do things like computer vision to find out, say, the dominant color of the image, whether there are faces in the image, and of course, what kind of thing is in the image. All this will help search later on. The third and final step is retrieval. This is the part where you as the user come in. You give a query and, assuming that the indexing was done well, your search engine will go to its index, find the pages that are the most relevant, and then deliver them back to you. So these are the three distinct stages, the three distinct things a search engine needs to do. Now, interestingly, people can game the system, and here's why. Now, in the third step, when you actually search for something and the pages come up, obviously they come up in a particular order. So that is one part of the retrieval step. Basically, your search engine needs to find out what is the most relevant to the search term, and it will show the results in a particular ranked order. So of course, there is this thing known as search engine optimization, where people try to get their pages as high up as possible. Obviously, the higher up, the more clicks you're gonna get, because that's the first thing that appears. So that becomes another concern of a search engine developer, right? Google needs to be very careful with what they present first and what comes later. In fact, this is such a huge and important issue that, sites like Google, for example, have a very complicated set of rules backed by AI to basically rank the search results. People who do SEO, search engine optimization, are the ones who try and figure out these rules and try to write their websites in a certain way so that, they get a better ranking. Obviously, when the rules change, their pages are going to fall behind again, they're going to have to play catch up. So SEO is a kind of painful thing to do. Of course, that is a whole different concern altogether, but the key part of this video is to show you the three distinct steps that a search engine must do to, work as you would expect. So that has been search engines in a nutshell. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Friday Minis. Until next time, you're watching 0612 TV with NERDfirst.net. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my work and are feeling generous, you can shoot me a one-time donation on PayPal or sign up for a recurring one on Patreon. Of course, you can simply like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. For more videos, links to my channel and a related playlist are on screen. Thank you for your support.